Okay, everyone. Hello and welcome to this Monday live stream. I had some technical issues, but I'm back and let's do this Monday live stream. Yeah, just a moment because I left those browsers open and yeah, everything looks all right. I had some technical issues, mostly with VPN. Been trying to use something. Mm, I wanted to uh, I wanted to change my location, mostly because the content that I'm making and everything that I'm talking about has no relevance around the area where I'm living, and I really didn't like how my YouTube was actually showing my content to people that basically had nothing to do with like it was showing me something like my videos were being recommended um to people that were searching for something entirely different. Let me see how this looks. Okay, this looks just fine. Yeah, and I had some technical issues, mostly because that thing it was creating a lag in my connection, and I tried like for around 40 minutes. Yeah, so I tried for around like 40 minutes to make this work, and no chance. So I had to give up using that thing, and then I turned it off. Yeah, and right now I'm using like nothing, just basically my location and from where I'm streaming. Also the microphone is all right. Yeah. So this Monday, new setup, new webcam, new light lamp or whatever is called. New setup. I really wanted this setup for a while for now, and yeah. So, should I go into that thing? Like into that thing, like if you don't know me, blah 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 blah. Should I do that? Maybe I should do that because I'm still after after so many years of like doing YouTube videos and also like writing books and everything else. It's like I'm still new, to this whole thing, and there are still people like always coming in and asking me, who I am and what do I do and what do I talk about and all of that kind of stuff. So I think I'm going to dive in and talk about that a little bit for those that are new here. Also, sorry for my English mistakes. English is not my first language, so yeah. Okay, then everything looks just fine. So let's dive in, and I'm gonna tell you guys and girls and aliens and everybody else who I am. First of all, welcome to this new Monday live stream. Every Monday I'm doing a live stream. It's supposed to be scheduled for Monday at a specific hour, but for today I had technical issues. And I also had technical issues not only because of that thing that I talked about earlier, but also about the fact that I have new things, like new webcam, new all of those kinds of stuff, and I tried like you know but still had some issues with around it, launching it. But even so, everything for now looks alright. And yeah, and every Monday I'm doing a live stream in which we talk about things, new things, my life, things that I've been through, spirituality, UFOs, all kinds of mysterious phenomena, philosophy, I think it could be called, New Age stuff, not the typical New Age stuff, because not the typical New Age stuff. I'm more of a combination from all of the things. So, for everyone that is new here, and also because this is my first live stream on X as well. As I said earlier, English is not my first language, and so I'm not pronouncing X, like I should. So I'm pronouncing it X, okay? So, because this is the first time that I'm doing a live stream on X, hello everyone, my name is Stefania M. This is how I like to be called, and also this is the name of I use it as an author name for my book, so Stefania M. But I like to be called Victoria, so yeah. I had my spiritual awakening around the so-called spiritual awakening, because I tried to find like a general term for it, but it's not like the typical like spiritual awakening that all of those people are talking on the internet and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, so I had my spiritual awakening after going through some hard things in my life, like my childhood traumas and everything else. And those things actually made me become a writer and write my books, From Darkness Back to Light, The Phoenix Roaring, and also another book that I always forget his name, even though I'm its author. It's so strange that I'm forgetting its name, because it has like a general name. It's something about remote viewing and also channeling. And in that book I'm talking as well about certain subjects regarding remote viewing, certain subjects, certain targets. And in the other book, From Darkness Back to Light, Phoenix Soaring, I'm talking about my childhood traumas and how all of those actually triggered in a way my so-called spiritual awakening and all of that kind of stuff. And after having like the so-called spiritual awakening, I had to go through, because of the things that I've been through, I had to go through depression and lots of, awful stuff, and trying to actually heal myself from all of those things. And it was hard. And spirituality for me, and like I said, this is just a general term that I like to use, even though I don't actually resonate with the typical spirituality. And yeah, and so because everything that I've been through, that somehow pushed me to have the so-called spiritual awakening, having different kind of things, like what's so called an astral projection and out-of-body experience, and having all kinds of realizations and stuff, and many things that I realized and that I was in contact somehow with what is called guides and angels and light beings, and how they were actually trying to teach me certain things that I didn't read, like in books, and many of the informations that I have still today and that I will wear with me like through all of my life, they are from those light beings. I didn't read about them in any kind of books or any kind of stuff like that. And so yeah, so like I said, I'm a writer, but not only that, I also like many kinds of fields. I'm into paranormal stuff, UFOs, mysteries, ghosts, um, things that are outside of the norm, that people find certain mysticism around them, or something like magic, because people like to use the term magic, but for me that's just advanced science that people and the society itself still needs to understand and still needs to somehow develop. And so for me, this whole thing of spirituality and all of those kinds of stuff is not just what is what is what appears to be. Those are just certain things that have nothing to do with magic or illusory, like that doesn't exist and is like our imagination. Even our part of imagination exists somehow in certain realities, and even imagination is real, is another reality. Many of the things and many of the theories that I have regarding certain subjects, I believe they are somehow real. Like I said, somehow people need to try and understand the science behind it, not to try and actually comprehend it like this could be something that is just a dream or something that is just illusory, like imagine that, like if it is imaginary then it doesn't exist or something like that. Those things are very real and they exist somewhere in this universe, and people still need to try and understand them and figure out what is actually happening. Yeah, and all of those things and the things that I've been through, they made me somehow have my spiritual awakening and go through certain things. Yeah, so for those watching this live stream, this Monday live stream, I'm giving written free light language codes with a general intention. So if you want a free light language code, please write a message in the chat room, and I'm going to give a free light language code, and later I'm going to actually color a little bit that light language code and upload it on my X profile, where you have around 48 hours to download it, to download the image, to actually save it and print it, to have a physical copy of the light language code. So the light language codes that I'm giving, they have a general intention. What does that mean? The light language codes that have general intention that I write and I give, basically they work directly speaking to your soul. Light language, it's like a universal language that even though we can't remember with our mind how to speak it, somehow our soul recognizes it, and somehow that works on certain frequency levels and a certain vibration. And those light language codes, they're basically addressing directly your soul, the primary being, the base being. Yeah, and this is what the light language codes are doing. And I'm giving free light language codes because this is another of my calling. I started writing light language codes since I was like 12 years old or something like that, and I didn't knew that those are called like light language codes. Even remote viewing, I was doing remote viewing without actually realizing that I was doing remote viewing. I was doing remote viewing when I was a child, seeing my body from third person perspective, and then I didn't like realize back then, because I was child and all that kind of stuff, that was called like remote viewing. But later, actually having my so-called spiritual awakening and having a friend that opened me to all of those kinds of notions, and how there are all kinds of people on the planet that have all kinds of gifts and or developed abilities and all of that kind of stuff. And he opened myself to those things. And then he told me that this was called remote viewing, seeing from far away, from the outside, you know. And then I started like practicing and seeing things from far away, from a third person's eyes. And I started seeing in people's lives, I started seeing like a certain probability of future events that could happen, a certain percentage of those events that could happen. And sometimes that percentage, working and developing this ability of remote viewing, those abilities started developing slowly but steady, and the percentage increased. But also this is really subjective, because seeing like future events, that depends on many factors, and things can change even in the last moment, in the last seconds. And so those that are saying that they can actually do remote viewing on, I don't know, lottery numbers and all of that kind of stuff, they're playing with something that they themselves can't even comprehend or even understand. And also about that, there are many things in this reality that are happening, in which people still need to understand. Yeah, and that's about that. This is who I am. Right now I'm working in helping others realize things. I don't know, sharing my wisdom, sharing my input. I don't know. But I feel like this is my soul calling, and yeah, this is my soul calling, and not necessarily to actually try and change something, but more to like take all of the information that I have and place it out there somehow. I don't know. This light is pretty bright and it's bugging me. It's bugging my third eye. Somebody used to ask me in my past live streams on Twitch, like, did your third eye opened? And when I try and look at really bright light, I tend to think that yes. Because the bright light and the sensitivity that sometimes we have to bright light, and also connected to certain things that are happening in one's life, is and could be connected to the third eye. It's not like a physical thing, but more like some glands and some stuff from our brain. It's like a chemical reaction, and also other things that are somehow connected, because those things, they are not affecting only our like energy overall and how we perceive things and our level of perception and awareness and all of that kind of stuff, but it is also affecting our physical bodies and transforming the physical bodies. It's affecting our DNA. It's affecting it's influencing the so-called spiritual awakening that and the work that we are doing on our bodies, on our energy and all that kind of stuff. Is affecting and influencing not only our soul or our level of perception as biological beings, but also our DNA, and also changing the frequency and the vibration of our bodies. Also, it's really hot here. It's summer, and I think that's summer everywhere, but excepting North Pole, I think it's called. Like I said, English is not my first language, so yeah. Anyways, let's get into it, because we also have other things to talk about today. And we have to do the oracle card reading, because I'm already pretty late with all of this, and yeah. So if there is anybody that's watching this live stream and wants a free light language code, they can ask for one in the chat room, the live chat. Okay, because we don't have many people around here, I'm going to also talk about I don't know, some interesting things, I guess. So let's start with this one. So let's start with first talking about certain things, and then we're going to move and talk about and then we're going to talk about other things, and then I'm going to do the oracle card reading, and maybe between those things, maybe there will be and appear people that will actually want a free light language code. Okie dokie. So first of all, we're going to watch some videos, but I'm going to lower a little bit the light because I really don't like it too bright. Okay, this is a little bit better, and let's okay, so I don't know what's going on. We have technical issues. Sometimes I guess there are certain entities that are trying to bug this thing. Yeah. Okay, so we're back, I think, but still having some issues with Twitch. I'm going to reload the page just in case, because this is starting to piss me off like really badly, because I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we are back, I guess. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. I still tend to believe that sometimes there are certain entities that they just like to fool around. And yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to address those technical stuff. This is normal to happen. This is normal to happen because it's the first time with all of this setup, and yeah. It's an overall issue that's happening. Let's see if okay, so everything looks fine. So then I don't know what just happened. Honestly, I don't know what just happened. Anyways, now that we're back, then we're ready to move on and talk about the things that I want to talk about. Let's hope that there will be no problem anymore with all of those things. Okay, so I have some things that I prepare to talk about. So there is this image that I want to talk about. There is this thing that I want to talk about. There was this person sharing. This person. There is this popular page on internet. I'm not going to say the name of the platform, but there is this popular page that is sharing, and of course there are many like spiritual pages that people have and share all kinds of images and all kinds of theories and all kinds of like new age stuff that have like no relevance whatsoever and no theory behind it, just I don't know, just things that they think they look great, or they think that that's interesting, or they think that that's awesome, or somehow mystic in a way, or somehow like you know, there are many people that are fascinated with things that they don't actually understand. Sorry. So there are many things that people are fascinated with, and especially things they don't really actually understand. I'm not trying to act like I understand everything, but there are certain things that people sometimes need to think about before they actually share things or talk about. I don't know. Anyhow, and there is this image that this page actually shared, and it's saying the chosen one is a hybrid soul and blah blah blah. Who is the chosen one? What is this talking about? And is there anyone that is chosen one and the rest of them aren't the chosen? I don't know if I put at the right time that verb in English. I always had this problem when I used to like learn English and all that kind of stuff. I had this problem with the verbs. Anyhow, so who is the chosen one? Like, what is this even about? What is this person even talking about? Like, and they keep like sharing all kinds of things on the internet, and they don't even have like any idea what they're talking about, or like I know they're sharing like, okay, look at this cool picture, or look at this cool stuff, but maybe that thing has nothing to do with anything whatsoever. It's just, yeah, it's just a cool picture, it's just a cool stuff, okay, but what is this about? Like, yeah, I know many things are somehow because they are fun in one way or another. I had to close that X stuff with my live stream because it was replaying itself with sound, and I don't want that. Anyhow, and yeah, so let's talk about this. The chosen one is a hybrid soul. What this is about? Who is the chosen one, and is the rest of them not choose? Like, what is this even about? Is half and half. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about this. This picture is really interesting because it's talking about a certain kind of entity somehow. A certain kind of entity that says that it is supposed to be like having both sides of energy. Isn't that how it's supposed to be? Like any kind of entity everywhere? Like, is there any kind of just that kind of entity? Like, shouldn't those entities have like background history on themselves, going through things as well, going through different experiences? People have really weird notions about all of those entities in generally, there are many entities out there that have like all kinds of backgrounds. Many have been incarnated, many are now what people are calling them angels or light beings, and they have like this whole history behind them with incarnations, not only as biological humans but maybe as well like biological aliens or certain hybrids between I don't know, half developed no sorry I mean really developed like technological aliens, and at the same time those really developed aliens also having access to um, I don't know, living their own bodies at their own will. So this is like nothing too wow to actually, and yeah, so there are many souls. Sorry, there are many souls out there that they have different kind of backgrounds. Generally speaking, souls they are not only a certain I don't know. The human mind is so limited in so many ways, and they try to make meaning of something that they are somehow in certain realities that thing might actually exist because imagination and belief and the belief system and all of that is a creative tool but also a very destructive tool because it can create like all kinds of stuff that it may affect other entities as well. So we have all of those planes of realities that they are really interesting. Yeah, so we have all of those planes of realities that are composed of all of those other things, and it's really interesting, but people are trying to make meaning of all of those things that they do not understand. They're trying to make something like a fantasy, like imagination and all of that kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong about that or in that, to try and use their imagination to try and make something from it. But even so, that doesn't mean that we should force others to believe in that thing or make that thing like complete. That's how religions are formed, trying to compose people and trying to somehow bring them together while also dividing them, because of course people will have their own different beliefs, their own different perspectives and also experiences, and it's really limited to put certain tags on certain things and try and limit others as well, just because you are limited yourself. Yeah, and that's about that. But also, like I said, let's talk a little bit about this thing. So who is the chosen one? What this is about? Like, there are certain angelic beings as well, and also it happened to me. I don't try to say anything about myself or like ego and all of that kind of things that are out there. I'm just nobody, just like everybody. But there are certain light entities out there, certain guardians, that they pull their light, the so-called light energy, their protective energy, their loving and all of that warrior energy. They're pulling out of that dark side as well, of bringing justice over those wicked, or I don't know. Yeah, and it's really interesting because there are many things that are happening at the same time and on multiple planes of realities. there isn't only just something just because somebody made it and created it, you know. And so yeah, we have many things, and people shouldn't limit themselves on only just this or only just that. Yeah, and moving on, hybrid souls. Everybody is a hybrid soul, even the, like I said, the so-called light beings, and also the dark entities and all of that kind of stuff. All of them, all of us, we are hybrid souls. I don't think there is any kind of soul out there that is totally taking just one side. Everything that is building this whole sphere, everything that is building this whole sphere of unity, of creation, of destruction, of those so-called, those both sides that people are seeing as divided, they are just one and the same thing. And all of us, we are hybrid souls that we compose this kind of sphere and this multitude reality. There is no doubt in that. And when people are actually going to realize that, it's going to be like, whoa, I can't believe that is like, that exists, that everyone is a hybrid soul and is composed of everything, and that everything creates the rest of the everything somehow. I don't know if that makes sense at all or anything like that. Yeah, and so there are those people that they are being fed with all of those kinds of things. Anyhow, and we don't have anybody in the chat on X, so I think I'm going to close this browser with it. Let's move on to the next thing and what people are saying in the commentaries. Just a second, that's just to know your darkness but choose your light, and there is no better way than knowing that darkness in this is. So one person, this is connected to that picture that I was talking about earlier. To know your darkness but choose your light, somebody is saying in the commentary. Again, like I was talking about earlier, so this person is just dividing things. This person is just dividing things, and there is this, see how many hearts and how many like stuff it has, because people believe in this thing that those sides, they are divided, the dark forces and the light forces. There is no there is no stuff like that. Everything is connected. Both the so-called light side and both the dark side, they make us, they create us. At the base of the fire of creation, the so-called the fire of creation, of souls, of beings, of entities, of humans, of everything that lies beneath matter and immatter and gray matter and everything else you call it. At the base of it, there is this power of creation. That power of creation is made and created itself based on the light side and also the dark side. So we don't have only just this or only just that. This is just a tool to divide people, created by religions, to try and to use the old stuff, like divide and conquer stuff. So there isn't like only this or only that. Okay, so we also have, I don't deny that, because like I said, we live in multi-dimensional, multispectral, infinite, and paradoxical universe, and everything connects itself. And even though we have like this sphere of things that is creating everything, there is also those things that could be like possibilities of what could be. So we also have those other sides to it. There is always sides and sides to things that are happening, to things that exist. Like I said, people shouldn't fall into this illusory thing that only light, or I don't know, only dark exists or anything like that, or like hell or heaven exists or stuff like that. There isn't just like that. Things aren't just like that. Things aren't like simple or easy or even too complex. Things are just the way they are, but there is never like a truth to it, or an result to it. People are always trying to find, hello Clepsy, my husband, there is always sorry, I've been there is always like those things that are happening as well. So we also have those sides, but there is never a final truth to it or an absolute truth to it. And those that are serving an absolute truth to people are just lying to them. Because when one person finds an ultimate and an absolute truth, then that's how things ends. Because that's how things ends. And how things are beginning with understanding that there is no absolute truth, there is no ultimatum truth or final perspective on things. There is always this infinite, this result to this equation that will just pop you back from where you have started, from the beginning. You know, there is this thing, I forgot its name, what is called, with that snake that was eating its own tail. And so there is this infinite, this form of completion, but at the same time incompletion that just continues at just like that. Sorry, I forgot its name. So there is this sense that people have this limitation that they are imposing on themselves, like that things are divided. But that's just an illusory thing that the society and all of those, they are creating just to divide and just to destroy others and to not stay united. Because if they stay united and if they realize what they're happening, then things are going to come up and people are going to realize, and they're going to realize like how controlled the society was always, and how things have always been and controlled and subjugated and all of that kind of stuff. And then people will just rise up and stay united, realizing that, you know, all of this is real, all of this is connected. There is no dark or light, but those things are just put together, and they create each other, they complete each other. All of those and the rest of it is just an illusion, because even the illusion makes part of the non-illusion, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say. It completes itself. There isn't only this or only that. There are sides and sides, but I wonder if people in generally speaking will someday realize how things they come together and not divided, not separated, but completing each other, and not in an ultimate truth, but an absolute truth, but a continuation and the start of it. and that's how the infinite and the release of it will start, and that's how people will actually release themselves and actually open themselves to this whole infinite, to this whole worlds that are happening at the same time, those whole like anomalies that are happening. There are so many things that people still need to discover, but if they limit themselves to only this or only just that, or just an ultimate absolute truth, people will just forget or actually not pay enough attention to what is actually going on. Yeah, and then I'm going to move on and also talk about some other things as well. Okay, everything is all right. Okay, so now we are going to move on some other interesting stuff that my husband shared with me. Here we have the Saturn rings, and so here we have the Saturn rings and an object that is actually flying over here. It's really interesting. I'm gonna replay this again. As you can see, there are some objects around here. I think this is a moon, and I think the object that's supposed to be, it's right here. I think those are some meteorites. If you're curious, my perspective on it, and a little bit of remote viewing on those things, there is a major base on Saturn. There is a major base on Saturn that all kinds of alien races are using and traveling from certain points of the galaxy. There is also an kind of portal or stuff, or something like that. Something like no. I think that it's that thing that I'm seeing to be like a portal. It's more like a door that just opens and closes itself, and it's really big. And there are like big ships that are coming in and out of that stuff, and they're traveling like from really far away corners of the galaxy or the galaxies. Okay, I'm gonna replay this again. Yeah, that's really interesting. Let's move on. This is supposed to be on this video is supposed to be on kind of like a portal opening, and then a UFO or something of flying something unidentified is coming out of this thing, and it's really interesting. As you can see, something is coming out. Of course, those videos, they can be like faked, and it's really easy to actually do certain effects and all of that. But this is looking pretty interesting. It's actually looking like a portal, and let's be honest, even if something were to be like real and shown to the people, generally they will still not believe it. So yeah. No, it's closing. Really interesting. You can see how the thing is starting to move, and then it backs off, and then it starts moving. That could be real, but that could also be very easily faked. It's not so hard to actually try and edit and make those kinds of videos. So yeah, let's move on next to the next video as well. Just a moment. Let's move on to the next video. Because I want to hear as well. And then I'm going to raise up a little bit the sound on those things. Okay, so this is another video with supposed UFO. Something that I think is coming from this place. Maybe it has like a base. Sorry, sleepy. Maybe this base. It's opening, and then the thing can that looks like, and that looks weird. This looks weird. Like, what is going on? This looks really weird. Like, what is actually going on? This could have like a cloaking device or something like that. Like, it can be seen like through it. It can be seen through it. And the colors around it looks like it has lots of radiation. Like when you are trying to see stars and then you are seeing like they're colored, and you're seeing that those colors around them, but in fact it's just space radiation. And not only that, it's also because of how the light travels. Interesting. Let's move on to the next video. Okay, so here we have on also called what is called sorry, I forgot. Oh my god, can't believe I forgot this. Anyhow, it's supposed to be landing on UFO or something like that on this thing. Or it's supposed to be like kind of picture. Sorry. Sleepy. Yeah, it's really interesting. I forgot the name of this. Let me search a little bit. Just a second. So I can actually. So. Where is it? So this is from European Space Agency, and how they accidentally photographed an UFO on comet. So this was the same comet. Sorry. Yeah. So they actually photographed an UFO, this comet, but it's supposed to be an UFO. But it can clearly be seen like it's something metallic, but could also be a reflection of light, because to me it looks more like a white spot. If you look closely to it, it could actually be just a reflection of something on the comet, like a big light that is reflecting somehow on the comet, maybe from a satellite. I don't know. At some things I'm a little bit skeptic. It's always good to have an open mind and stay open about certain things, because we can't be sure enough if that is actually something or not. Yeah, but it could be something metallic, because it also has like this shadow to it. Like it has this shadow beneath it, and but the white spot and the grayish spot, it looks like it could be some kind of light reflecting on the comet. Not so sure about it. I'm really not so sure about it. Okay, let's move to the next one. So this is really interesting. I really wanted to talk about this. This is the Bugasphere. This is the Bugasphere from Colombia. Just a moment, please. Let me prepare myself because I really wanted to talk about this. Yeah, and my legs are sticking to the chair because of the sweat. So, and this is the Bugasphere from Colombia, and it's really interesting because I talked about this in my last live stream. This is something recently that happened that coincided with as well on crop circle. What is called? Crop circle, I think it's called. Yeah, crop circle. Sorry. So this as well, I talked about this in my last live stream, in my last Monday live stream here on Twitch. And this as well coincides with the crop circle that happened in the UK, I think. Something interesting about this, and also something interesting about crop circles. I never understand why those so-called crop circles they don't happen like in other countries or happen in other places, and I wonder why. Maybe because those countries, and in those countries that are happening those crop circles, they already have access to advanced technology, or something is going on. I'm not so sure about it. But something really interesting that I wanted to talk about the Bugasphere is that in my last live stream Monday here on Twitch, I talked about it, and I said something like it has to do with the crop circle, that it is somehow connected with the Metatron's cube and as well with the crop circles. And I don't know why. I just said that like intuitively, like I don't know, maybe remote viewing, maybe I don't know. I just felt like saying that, and somehow that this has also like something magnetic. And I don't know why, but I felt like to say that. And then I see this. Well, actually, my husband shares this with me on X, and this thing about it, this post that somebody made about it, and it says something like this. Just a moment to open it. So the post says something like this. Somebody actually, so this is something what I'm going to read is something that somebody said about it or somebody from X, or somebody that I don't know, already made a video about this on YouTube or stuff like that. But this text is specifically taken from that I'm reading right now. It's from somebody's post on X. So it's saying something like this: this device uses 5 magnets arranged evenly around the dome. When powered, these magnets create a spinning magnetic field. So this is something that I actually said in my last live stream. Inside there is a magnetic piece that spins due to this field, creating lift. Again, this is something that I said in my last live stream on Twitch, that something that spins really fast, that I'm starting to feel really dizzy. So yeah, that's really perplexing to me. That's really sorry, that's supposed to be a joke. So it's really perplexing to me that I was actually able to see that, or actually feel that, or I don't know. I really don't know. But somehow certain people have already reached to this conclusion. It's like spinning a magnetic top so fast that it flows without using propellers or jets. This approach, known as 5-phase magnetic levitation, is a key step towards futuristic propulsion technology. So, flash news. This is something that as well has been tested on the Skinwalker range, when that guy, I forgot his name, actually stepped in and actually buy the Skinwalker range. So they tested this because this also happened there. They also tested teleportation in that place, because teleportation would also happen. Reading further, detailed explanation: pentagonal 5-phase resonance drive, decoding the Mason 5-moon sphere through frequency wave theory. What the hardware already tells us: feature of the hemisphere, plausible engineering role, central microchip glyph, plus 12 radial vias, a PCF style driver etched directly into the cap. The 12 gold-colored vias almost certainly anchored a double-layer coil pack or feed through pins that carry the 5-phase currents up into the dome. So this could either be like alien technology, or could be like I said, human developed technology, something that they wanted somehow to share with the society, but not like directly, but indirectly, if that makes sense. Something like, okay, we are going to release this, but in another way, for people to not figure out like what this is about, without actually coming out and tell them, hey, we have access to this, or we've created this, then maybe we should actually try and show the population this piece of technology, but not directly, if that makes sense. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? Anyhow, and moving further, triangular notches with dots, likely coil tabs, Hall effect sensor wells for real-time phase feedback so the field never slips. Classical electromagnetic force, 5-phase stator, which produced the smoothest constant magnitude rotating field of any n-phase system, with ferrite back iron inside each crescent. The collective vector B sweeps around the center. like a contact-free hand at whatever electrical frequency you drive it. If you drop a diamagnetic or ferromagnetic rotor, even a simple NDFAB plug onto that virtual hand, that torque will spin it in synchrony. Sorry. Yeah. So it has lots of really advanced like composition that I really I can't actually read all of this because this all of this is beyond me. I'm not a technician. I'm not an like physician into you know um to have anything to do with physics or maths or anything like that. And I mean, I know some kinds of things and have certain notions about certain things, but I don't actually know like everything. And all of those are just beyond me, reading all of this. So some technologies were given indirectly. Those given directly were with strings attached, like abduction of humans. Yeah, that could be a possibility. um, I really believe that certain technologies were actually released to the society, to the mass society, but they were released like indirectly without actually creating too much suspicion. Because if they were released like directly, telling the people and the society like, oh, look at us, how we've uh, we've managed somehow to develop those really advanced like pieces of, oh my god, the family. Ah, they are really loud. um Anyways, so like I said, certain technologies, they were released in indirect ways, mostly because if the society and if the mass society and if the population overall, they knew that this was actually happening and they already had like access to really advanced technology, they will be really curious, and people will come and ask them all sorts of questions. What is that thing doing? And have you developed any cure for cancer? Because of course they have a cure for cancer. Of course they have a cure for every disease on this earth. Of course they have. Of course they created certain diseases like COVID. Of course they COVID-19. Of course they did all sorts of things to the society, and of course they have access to really develop technology, and of course they have the cure for certain diseases, and of course they do all kinds of things, but they do not come forward with all of this because they are afraid of the questions and they are afraid that they will lose control. And imagine if all the countries would work together and actually share everything, and there will be like no fear anymore about any kind of war, and all of the planet would have access to food, to water, to everything that people actually need. And imagine how all of this would actually be if all of this would actually happen. There will be nothing left for them to pull their energy from, to actually feed from the pain and from the heart of others, and through from all of that kind of stuff. And this is one of the main reasons why they are not doing that, not sharing the advanced technology with the population and everything they're doing. It's really a shame because many things could be like resolved, and many things could be actually come to a resolution and all of that kind of stuff if they could actually share everything and be open and straightforward and transparent about everything that they have access to. And it could invite a new opportunity and open a door for people to actually explore the universe, for people to actually explore the anomalies and to actually understand, for people to actually focus on more important matters like exploration of the space, like creating a long-lasting peace between people, creating even more advanced solutions to the well-being of everyone on this planet, like every person, education and everything else. So like I said, I'm not going to read the continuation of the text because of this text because it's really, I don't know. Bottom line, the Motion sphere isn't magic and it isn't mere art, it is 5-phase frequency momentum injector wrapped in a crop circle shorthand. So yeah, like I said in my last live stream, this is connected with the crop circles. People need to wake up and realize things that everyone have been lied to, and this is the Bugasphere, the sphere that will actually bring chaos. While it will bring chaos, because people will now realize that they have their hands on really advanced technology, and they will be fed again with their ego, with their greed, and even if there will be like certain really developed aliens or beings that will show themselves on this earth, people will still try to find something for their own gain rather than, because they are still rooted in certain frequencies, and until certain things can change, neither this will affect things in a positive way. But we can take a positive lesson from everything that is happening. And even though it will bring something like chaos, it will still bring an opportunity. This is again the sphere. And this is a guy that is talking about some findings that I don't think that I'm going to play that video because I don't want the copyright strike or have any other issues, any other legal issues or anything like that. There are also really interesting videos to watch on YouTube as well. I'm going to close this thing. That people should watch if they want to know more about this Bogosphere. With those being said, I can see there are not many people, neither on the YouTube and neither on Twitch, to ask for a light language code, a free light language code. And with those being said, I think I'm going to go for the collective oracle card reading and see what we have on for this following week. Yeah. Anyhow, even with those spheres and everything else that is happening, they are really interesting, and people should pay more attention, especially those that are already awakened to those ideas, to those theories, to all of those kinds of things. They should try and raise more awareness and also help others realize that of course we are not alone. We've never been alone in this whole universe, and those that actually believed that is just a really closed mind without actually judging anyone. But it's really straightforward that we are not alone, that there are reality anomalies, and people, and not the people but also the people but the society overall and the population of the planet, it will not evolve itself until they will detach themselves from this indifference that they have revolving around those subjects, around reality anomalies and all those kinds of things. So I think I'm going to move further, and we're going to go and do the oracle card reading, because we don't have many people watching all of this, so I don't have who to actually give a free light language code. So yeah. So now I have observed that I was talking but my microphone was muted. Okay, that's really awesome. So like I said, we are back. I was talking but my microphone was muted. Oh my god. I'm so oh my god. Sorry for that. So we are back from this break with no microphone. Oh my god. So, like I said, let's do the oracle card reading for this following week, for this, for the collective energy, for the planetary energy, and all that kind of stuff. You see the messages from the angels and light beings and all that kind of stuff for this following week. So I'm having right here, I'm having the secret language of light. Oracle deck. So this is a newish one. It's pretty old. It has some years by now. It has like 5 years since I have this oracle card deck, but it's the first time that I'm using in on Monday live stream. So yeah. So it's the first time that I'm using in the live stream. So yeah. Just a moment, so I can move the microphone. I don't even know how to place this. I will have to move a little bit to this side because I like to shuffle it just like this. Let's see if I can make this. This is the best method to actually shuffle the cards without to actually do this. You actually take them, like split them in half, and then you're supposed to split them in half and then, you know, do this like between, like simultaneously both right and left hand. Okay, let's see. Angels, please, light angels, please, and all the kind of light entities code, because like I said earlier in the beginning, even though I'm using this term like light beings or light angels, I'm just trying to refer to actually use my intention and to put that energy into that intention of like those entities that are in the sphere of kindness, of love, of safety, of all of that kind of stuff, and not other kind of entities. But even so, like I said earlier in the beginning of this live stream, there aren't like just one type of entities or beings that are part of light forces or dark forces or stuff like that. All of them have a certain background to them. If they were to be like only light entities or only so-called light forces or light beings, and if they were to work only for humans like they say they do, they wouldn't have like any experience regarding humans or guiding them or anything like that, because they don't know what all of this is about, you know. So like I said, their background is composed of an entire long history of things that they've been through and learned to actually apply and to actually help humans and work with them. So there are not only, like I said, just this or just that, and it is a complex thing. So yeah, so let's see the energy for this week. A message from those light beings, angels, and for the collective energy, for planetary, for the planet. Okay, so we have soul, writing, and joy. those two cards are really, really, really beautiful, because, and as an outcome card we have meditation, as you can see right here. And I don't know what just happened to my finger, because there's just a really painful thing right now in my finger, like a kind of like a bolt of energy, or something like that. Okay, so we have soul writing and joy, and we have meditation. And for the keepers of light, we have, for this oracle card deck, we're having just a moment to shuffle this as well. Oh, come on. They are full of dust. I haven't been used this like in 4 years by now. Those cards are full of dust. All of the dust is coming right into my nose right now when shuffling them. Blowing some air into them is not just for the dust, but also for the energy. So when you don't have at your hand, you don't have like sage or anything like to smoke them, to purify all of that energy, all that matters is your intention, and you using air and blowing air onto them is actually helping them to purify. And so we'll have to see this week. Oh my god, again that sharp pain in my finger. I don't know why this is happening, like I suddenly felt like a sharp pain right between, like shooting right between, shooting right through this this finger. Okay, let's see the energy for this following week. I can feel it. Joy, joy, joy. Messages from angels this following week. Messages from angels this following week for the collective, planetary, not the whole pack, please. Just a few cards, 1 or 2, that would be great. Angels, light angels, light beings that are here to guide and help humanity change into a new, no, to change into a new. Oh, and we have 2 cards. I'm really curious. Don't resonate with this card as an outcome, so I'm going to place it right back in the where it's supposed to. Oh my god, you won't believe what card I just pulled. You won't believe what just actually happened. This always happens, like this always. No, this is not possible. Like, I don't know, should I actually share this? Should I keep this for myself and place it right in the pack? No, because this is a planetary message, and this is direct message for everybody involved. I'm not going to hold those messages back just for me, so I'm going to actually share them because everybody needs to hear this out. So something happened intuitively. Sometimes I not like I don't trust myself, but sometimes I can hear something in my mind, like a message coming, like channeled. And earlier when we watched like that video with the glowing UFO, that was, sorry, my nose is itchy, and sometimes when it's activating the energy and I'm channeling, my nose starts being itchy. So earlier when we watched that UFO that was glowing, and I said something about radiation that was was full of radiation. That's why it was so colorful. I could instantly feel energetically. This was about Pleiadians. This had Pleiadians involved, not the Bugasphere, but that ship that was really colorful had Pleiadians involved, and I can really. Oh my god, my nose is itchy again. Sorry, like I said, it's because energy. And I can really feel this is connected with them. That ship was connected with them. I know for a certain fact from what is shown to me that they have those glowing, beautiful lights, colorful in their ships that they're using when they're traveling and all that kind of stuff. Their technology, they are composed with all of those beautiful lights, like, yeah. And they don't have like physical stuff that when they're traveling and using those stuff, they don't have like physical buttons that they're pressing. They actually have like really colorful lights that they're using with their hands without actually touching, like physical touching something, like an object. Because they also have this magnetic, like all of the ships that are functioning, they're functioning based on a magnetic kind of field, and that's how they are floating and traveling. Something connected with magnetism, something connected with radiation and plasma, and creating electricity without actually an outside necessity of something to make it work, if that makes sense. And yeah, so I felt intuitively that this was something about Pleiadians when watching that video with that ship, that glowing, colorful UFO from that video. And then when I was pulling and when I was shuffling this oracle card deck, it was like I felt connected with the Pleiadians, and I don't know, I felt that intuitively. And I was shuffling them, and suddenly I saw a card. And I was thinking to myself, that can't be, like, I don't think there is any card that has anything related to Pleiadians in this oracle card deck. I don't think it has anything. I think there's just random stuff. It's just some random cards. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I mean, it's very rare that people are using their oracle cards deck that they're creating anything connected or related to Pleiadians. When suddenly those two cards are popping out from the oracle card deck. And guess what? Guess who we have right here? You won't believe this, because I couldn't believe it myself, but it is. So this is a confirmation for us that they are here. Pleiadians are here. I don't know from what year or from what time was that video with that ship, with that UFO, that colorful UFO, but they are here. Let me see if I can find and play that video. Just a moment. Just a moment so I can see if I can find that video. This is the one. But I don't want to open with that, so I think I'm going to actually. Anyhow, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to open with this. So let me reopen this video. So we have again this video with this, what is it, with this guy. So Pleiadians, see how colorful is the ship. So it's not only because of the radiation, it was also using a cloaking device. Yeah, but this for sure was mostly about radiation, the glowing light that it has around it. Anyhow, we'll close this right now because discarding. Going back to our oracle card reading, like I couldn't believe it, but here it is. And this is Commander Ashtar call to action. Take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. Yes. Then we have Kalima, facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Yeah. So I feel like many of those many of the people from the earth, from the planet, they're beginning to wake up and realize certain things. Realize like what is actually happening. And then I feel with the card Commander Ashtar, I feel that people are being guided and there are certain things that are happening that we are not aware that they're happening, but they are happening. And I feel like people are being given the chance to try and make things right. Like again, they are implying themselves, they are putting themselves out there, those really advanced beings, and they want to offer all of those kinds of things to actually help others and all of that. And yeah, but people must wake themselves up as well. Okay, let's check with you this oracle card deck as well. Okay, collective energy, clarification, angels guidance, and we have the card integration. Integration information with the card soul writing, and as well the card joy, because we have this star right here. In generally speaking, the Commander Ashtar, generally speaking, is represented with this star right here. I don't know if I can. So in generally speaking, the Commander Ashtar is represented with this star right here, with this shape of the star. And I feel like this is a guided message from him in a way to actually wake people and realize their potential, there being a chance to integrate their passions, does that make sense, and make connections. Okay, clarification, angel messages, just one more card please from light beings. Sacred space. People are being guided to create their sacred space, and we have as an outcome the card grounding. And again, as an outcome, we also have the card joy. So we have double joy. We have two cards of joy. So we have two cards of joy. Let me place this back and also use the other oracle cards, like to see, to make sense what is actually happening. We have joy and joy. So people are being given the chance, like a new chance to make things right. Okay. Angel guidance for this following week. Not the whole pack, please. Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. I feel like I'm not the only one going through this. Blaming the own self for some things that we don't have actually power or control over. And I feel like we're being guided to actually go inside and actually start working on our passions, on what brings us joy. This is our chance to do that. Collective, planetary energy. We have balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. That's true. And honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. It's always important to know that we need to be honest with ourselves. And as an outcome card, we have those ladies holding up the planet, or staying on the planet and holding the lights. And it says loneliness. I know that I am never alone. So again, I feel like this resonates with me, but also that others have felt this as well, that maybe they are alone. Maybe like they're feeling like they're alone. But this is a time for them to work on themselves, on their passions. It is a chance that is being given to work on their passions and create a place of joy, a place of sacred space in which they can be honest with themselves and find a balance between that and releasing the blame from that, because knowing that they can't control everything and there are certain things happening in their lives that they can't control them. And as well with the monology, let's see what we have. Okay, collective energy for this following week, planetary. There are many that are going through this and maybe they are suffering right now. They are feeling really tired, really, I don't know, sad or lonely, but they must understand that they are not lonely. This card just fell on the ground. Okay, let me okay, I managed to we have meditate and contemplate again as the last week's new moon in Pisces. Meditate and contemplate. And this as well is connected with the outcome card that we had earlier, meditation. And like I said, this is a time for ourselves and for those that are resonating as well with this reading, and many on the planet right now that maybe will resonate with this and from the collective. This is a message for us to go inside, to actually meditate, to create a sacred space in which we can be honest with ourselves, in which to release blame, knowing that it's all right to find joy in the things that we like doing, in our hobbies. This is how we create our soul writing. This is how we create our journey. This is how we make things balanced for ourselves. And sometimes we must be aware that there might be some challenges and some people that are pushing us to do certain things that we don't want to do. And when that happens, it's important to go inside and create our sacred space and stay true to ourselves. And with the card Ashtar, the commander, take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. I feel like we're being given the chance to actually stand up our ground and to actually because we as well have the grounding card. We have been given the chance to ground ourselves, to stay in tune with ourselves, and to actually realize that it's alright, it's our lives, and the way that we are living it is our problem and not others' problem. How we are living it, how we choose our decision and our decisions and all of those kind of things, they are own to own. It is our talk that we walk. It is walk your talk, and it is the charge that we take by choosing to living our life to our own rules, to our own perspectives, to our own things. So yeah, again, I'm having some technical issues. I had technical issues like all day. This been really a problem, but I hope that in my next live stream there will not be any more the same problem. I'm going to make sure that this will not repeat itself. And yeah, so I feel like we are being given the chance to lead ourselves. Leadership is not about searching an outside force to lead us in the right direction, but finding a kind of leadership inside ourselves, understanding that we don't need someone else outside ourselves to guide us, to lead us, but we need only ourselves. And then we have the card work through your fears. Earlier we had the card as well, Kalima, facing fear.